is an offense. And therefore, we are going to involve other agencies, other stakeholders to help us so that our farmers are not duped, so that they realize their profits.
Meanwhile, agriculture expert Tamani Nkonomvula has commended government for releasing the prices, adding it will provide an opportunity for farmers to objectively negotiate with buyers. Mvula has, however, stressed the need for government to look into production costs and inputs when setting the prices, noting that this can affect efforts of promoting agricultural commercialization in the country.
These are just minimum prices. They are indicative prices which should guide the farmer. So the final decision now should remain with the farmer in terms of how much he or she wants to sell their crops so that they are able to make a profit. But this is a good initiative that government has done, and it's now up to the farmers to utilize these prices in their marketing. So I think when you're coming up with minimum prices, there should be a true reflection in terms of how much has been the production cost of the farmers. But as I've pointed out, that these are just indicative prices. It will now be up to the farmers to negotiate upwards to make sure that whatever will be the price they reach with the traders should reflect their production cost at the end of the day.
According to the ministry, the prices take immediate effect. Beatrice Mwape, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Farmer cooperatives have been described as key in commercializing and expanding agricultural productivity in the country. Program Manager for Machinga ADD, Adric Banda, made the remarks in Mangochi District when he presided over the official opening of cooperative member education training for farmers under Maiwa EPA. Owen Mavula with the report.
Experts in the agricultural sector say despite deliberate efforts in ensuring that farmers access services through farmer organizations, there is still a low level of penetration of agricultural cooperatives in farming communities. Realizing the importance of such cooperatives, authorities at Mangochi District Council and Machinga ADD have organized a 5-day cooperative member education training for small-scale farmers under Maiwa EPA. Speaking during the opening of the training, Program Manager for Machinga ADD, Adric Banda, observed that by joining forces through agricultural cooperatives, smallholder farmers can reap many of the benefits that larger farmers on commercial scale have been able to realize.
We need to train the farmers to ensure that they are into cooperatives. All along we've been forming clubs, associations and cooperatives. But those revealed that we do not do enough. But today this training will at least equip our farmers with the knowledge and the skills to ensure that they implement what cooperatives are about.
During the opening of the cooperative member education training, First Capital Bank presented a check worth 6 million kwacha to Mangochi District Council in support of the initiative. Speaking to MBC after presenting the check, First Capital Bank Cluster Manager for the Southern Region, Linda Msukwa, said the bank equally believes the need to have well-equipped farmers who can produce for exports and generate more revenue for the country.
We thought that it's the right thing to do for us to sponsor the 6 million for their training, because we want these farmers to know about to have modern skills or knowledge on how to produce more produce than the ones that are producing at the moment. I'm sure you're aware that in Malawi, as I mentioned, that chuma chili mutaka. So if we equip our farmers into modern skills, they'll be able to produce more.
In his remarks, Chairperson for Maiwa Cooperative, Yusuf Muhammad, said the training will help equip the farmers with skills and knowledge of what cooperatives are all about. The training is being facilitated by World Food Programme. Owen Mavula, MBC, Mangochi.
Malawi has launched the second phase of the STOSA program, a regional initiative aimed at strengthening agricultural systems, improving food security and boosting trade. The project builds on gains made between 2018 and 2024 with a renewed focus on data systems, pest and disease control and nutrition. McDonald Chuayula reports.
The STOSA Phase 2 project comes at a time when Malawi and the wider SADC region are grappling with food insecurity, climate shocks, and low levels of agricultural trade. Secretary for Agriculture and Water Development, Erica Maganga, said lessons from the first phase have helped improve market information systems and disease surveillance.
At the moment, we have enhanced that market information system where we're able on daily basis or weekly basis to collect information on market information, which we use for decision-making processes on the pricing of the various commodities in various parts of the country. And again, we also worked on the sanitary and phytosanitary standards, and this helps us as people are exporting or importing agricultural commodities.
Maganga said the second phase will expand into nutrition and ensure farmers benefit from improved crop varieties developed through research. The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, a key partner in the program, said the next phase will also strengthen agricultural data and value chains.
Because every country, has certain competitive and comparative advantages. So trading between the regions requires some standards, some of the, phytosanitary rules and regulations, compliance. So at the end of the day, this is meant to help assist farmers and small businesses and enterprises to produce well, to trade well, and to make their decisions for production and investment based on investment and information that is partially generated from STOSAR 2.
In his remarks, Chief Executive Officer of Farmers Union of Malawi, Jacob Nyirongo, welcomed the initiative, saying it will empower smallholder farmers to participate in regional markets.
We anticipate that, more farmers will participate in cross-border trade, and through that there will be enhanced incomes by the small-scale farmers, and that will stimulate productivity and production at the farm level. But also capacity building activities that will be part of this project to also help in terms of skills development amongst the farming community.
The STOSA Phase 2 program, funded by the European Union, will run until 2028, focusing on building resilient, inclusive and market-driven agricultural systems. McDonald Chwaira, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Tobacco Commission's TC has announced that the 2026 tobacco marketing season is set to open next week Monday. In an interview, TC spokesperson Terefolas Chigwenembe said farmers and buyers are ready for the market. James Kachepa reports.
Following a series of engagements with the farmers and buyers, the Tobacco Commission says it is now set to open the market for Malawi's major forex earner. In the last 2 weeks, the Commission conducted cost of production discussions with the growers and buyers towards setting expected prices of the leaf this season. According to the TC's spokesperson Tereforas Chigwenembe, all is set for the market.
We're happy that all stakeholders right now are ready. We are just finalizing our preparations, but everything is in place. We are ready to open the 2026 tobacco marketing season.
In this year's marketing season, the buyers are looking for 170 million kilograms of the leaf against the country's crop output of 197 million kilograms.
Although the buying companies are looking for less than what we are projecting to have this year, as Tobacco Commission will ensure that all the tobacco that is brought to the floors is sold.
Meanwhile, agricultural expert Tamani Nkono has advised farmers to ensure that they bring to the market a leaf of high quality to increase chances of consistent better prices.
For the buyers to be incentivized to buy more, it will depend on the quality of tobacco that is going to be offered on the market. So my advice to the farmers is that whenever they are taking their tobacco to the market, it has to be well graded, it has to be well dried, and also the bales must not contain foreign bodies.
Chinkhoma and Limbi floors are opening on 21st and 23rd April, respectively, while on Zuzu on 5th May this year. James Kachepa, MBC News, Blantyre.
This is MBC News, a reminder of our top stories. The Ministry of Agriculture releases the 2025-2026 farm gate prices. The 2026 tobacco marketing season is set to open this coming Monday. Blantyre City Council pledges to work closely with netball authorities to attract sponsorship for struggling teams in the city. Moving on, the Lilongwe Magistrates Court has granted bail to former Finance Minister Simplex Chicholabanda, who is facing charges of abuse of office. Presiding Principal Resident Magistrate Benjamin Chulu delivered the ruling when he appeared before the court. Austin Fugula reports.
The court held that between October 2023 and September 2025, as Finance Minister Chicholabanda allegedly authorized a transaction in which SFFRFM exchanged farm produce such as tons of tobacco and soybeans with Romanian's East Bridge Company in return for fertilizer which was not delivered. The court set bail at 2 million kwacha with two sureties of 5 million each and ordered the accused to report monthly to police headquarters and surrender travel documents. However, the court has allowed him to travel to Namibia on 19 April for official duties with documents to be surrendered upon return on 27th April. Director of Public Prosecutions Faustina Maire did not oppose the bail application. And Jefferson Kazipatike is one of the defense lawyers.
We are very happy with the bail conditions. In fact, as you might have heard from us in the courtroom, we indicated that the defense team is very happy with the conditions which the DPP proposed.
The case has been adjourned to a later date for a plea taking. Austin Fugula, MBC News, Lilongwe.
Government says with the trade project partnership, they will next month embark on the construction of a modern two-story market in Mzuzu City. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Ben Piri, made the revelation when he toured the proposed construction site behind Mzuzu CCP. George Nkandawire has compiled this report, read in our studios by Musase Jeo.
Speaking after inspecting the proposed construction site, Piri expressed satisfaction with the plan, saying the project will transform the face of trading in the city. Among others, according to Piri, the new market will include modern facilities such as a well-designed car park and proper road access to ensure smooth movement of both traders and customers.
His Excellency the President, Professor Peter Mutharika, in his manifesto, promised that he will move from low single markets to double-story markets. And in his zona, he promised Malawians that Mzuzu, Lilongwe, and Blantyre, plus other places, we will start pilot projects. And this particular market is one of them. Now, the reason I came here, one, was to prepare the people that the vision of the president is about to be actualized, because May, a contractor is coming on site to make sure that at least we start.
Chief Executive Officer for Mzuzu City Council, Gomeziani Nyasuru, said the new modern market is expected to ease congestion currently experienced in existing markets while providing secure environment for vendors.
We are very happy with the project that is coming. Very happy in the sense that one, to address the challenges of space that our vendors have been complaining. Number two, the market that is coming is a modern market, which aligns well with the vision of the president of this country, His Excellency Professor Peter Mutharika, who envisions that we should have modern cities in Malawi.
Mzuzu Free Market Chairperson Wiseman Mutari welcomed the development, describing it as a game changer. Once completed, the facility is expected to benefit hundreds of traders and contribute to the growth of Mzuzu City as a commercial hub in the northern region.
As a way of curbing the spread of cholera in Blantyre, Blantyre Water Board will provide free water to residents in its 870 water kiosks for the next 3 months. The initiative is being supported by the World Bank to the tune of 100 million kwacha. More details in this report by Temba Mari.
Announcing the development when he toured some cholera hotspots in Blantyre, the board's chief executive officer, Yeremia Chihana, said the decision has been made in order to ensure that the residents are accessing potable drinking water.
You know, the policy of His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika has made it clear that at least we should reach to as many people as possible with potable clean water. But the outbreak of cholera has given me another challenge beyond the policy framework. It has emerged that the Bangui Clinic too has received over 19 cases of cholera. So our immediate interventions have come in because at least we need to ensure that people are receiving clean and potable drinking water. So immediately, through the guidance of Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, we open up all all potable waters in kiosks, which are about 870, which were either blocked or they were suspended because of bills. All of them will be opened and the people will be drinking free water for the next 3 months.
Among the areas visited during the tour is Bangui Community Hospital, where the facility has recorded 19 cases of the disease. In his remarks, Chief Preventive Health Officer for Blantyre District, Innocent Mvula, said the donation is timely, considering that Blantyre is still battling with the disease.
We welcome the news 101%. I'm saying this because to defeat cholera, it needs a multi-sectoral collaboration. And the coming in of Blantyre Water Board just shows that we are moving in the right direction to make sure that this cholera is defeated. Because these supplies, the chlorine that we have received, the water purifiers, will go a long way in the provision of safe water to our community members, because that's the huge risk factor that we are facing here, access to safe water.
Meanwhile, village headman Nkukuteni of Mpingwe in Bangwe says the free water will ease the challenges they've been facing in accessing clean and safe drinking water. In partnership with Feed the Future, Blantyre Water Board is also providing chlorine and water filters to over 2 million households within Blantyre. Temba Mwale, MPC News, Blantyre.
Local communities in Itiolo have described the Tiambe project being implemented in the district and Mulanje as key to unlocking lasting solutions to gender-based violence. Chief Masai from the area of Senior Chief Kwetemule said this during a community awareness meeting aimed at highlighting the dangers of violence through a development theatre performance organized by Art and Global Health, Art Glow, in collaboration with Eastern Produce Malawi. Ruth Jinangwa with the details.
According to the chief, cases of gender-based violence, especially within families, have declined in communities, giving hope in the fight against this practice. Speaking during the meeting, Tiro District Social Welfare Officer Hape Katimpwa said the project has helped in promoting children's rights.
As you can see, Tiro is surrounded with the tea estates. Now, the Yambe project, it has assisted the surrounding tea estates communities to understand about gender-based violence. So if we can connect with the children, you know, a number of children that are being suffering in terms of family issues, it do affect even the kids. In terms of the parents, they do have quarrels, so it affects even the kids.
The director of Artiglo, Roger Piri, said the project is focusing on the communities surrounding estates under the Eastern Produce Company.
Awareness is one major issue. Like some of the gender-based violence issues were normalized as cultural issues, or were just taken as, okay, this is Mamuna, Makala, and Impampu, and everything else. Or Mamuna can do anything. Or if Mamuna is got money or can have other women and the likes, or there was no that understanding that young girls are supposed to go to school. They are not second wives or wives and what abuse. Or when they don't have money, they don't have to attach themselves to a rich man so that they can have money in exchange of sex and the like. So these are the issues that we've been addressing, like to highlight that what does it mean when we say this is gender-based violence.
This is the second phase of the project and it will run for 3 years in the 2 districts.
In sports, Blantyre City Mayor Isaac Jomo Osman has pledged to work closely with netball authorities to attract sponsorship for struggling teams in the city. Osman says Blantyre, once regarded as a powerhouse of netball in Malawi, has seen its dominance decline over the past 5 to 6 years, with Lilongwe now leading the way.
So you're going to see in Lilongwe they are doing good. You have witnessed Vanessa. Vanessa is a small team, but because they have sponsorship and they have money, that's why they are doing good. So our team, you can see at least Kukoma, that's why you saw Kukoma, it's number 3. But the rest of the teams, they rely on their own, they don't have any support. It's true, they can't do well. So we need to find a way to support them. I think these coming weeks, we are going to announce something big in Blantyre. That is going to happen because we want to have good facilities for netball. You know, in Malawi, when we are talking about sports, it's only netball that taking Malawi to higher level. So we need to support netball. So as a mayor of Blantyre, it's my wish and my plea to find people going to support the game.
And that's how we end this edition of MBC News. With me, Romeo Omari. A reminder of our top stories before we leave. The Ministry of Agriculture releases the 2025-2026 farm gate prices. The 2026 tobacco marketing season is set to open this coming Monday. Blantyre City Council pledges to work closely with netball authorities to attract sponsorship for struggling teams in the city. You can scan the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen for live news updates. Many thanks for watching, and bye for now.
Something big is coming on NBC. Not what you've seen before. A new force is about to hit the road. Crafted for presence, engineered for power, designed to turn every head before it even arrives. You'll hear it before you see it.